Well, I'm just gonna make this because I kind of want to gloat about something. Recently, I've kind of turned a corner in my life, and I've kind of flipped the fix everything easily switch. And pretty much everyone on the planet can do this. Most people aren't doing this. It's a very simple thing, and it's called fixing your sleep. Most people's sleep habits, the way that they kind of shut down for the night, they're not shutting down properly. They're not actually able to relax, get their brain recharged, and refresh for the next day. Most people nowadays that walk this earth are just straight up zombies. They're just straight up walking around, unhappy, not even really paying attention to anything, and they're just coasting from day to day. And I was one of those people for majority of my life until, you know, fairly recently, as in about like 2 weeks ago. The simple way that I actually kind of fixed my sleep habits was through a very easy habit that pretty much everyone can adopt. And it's called just not using screens before bed. Like it's really that easy. For 1 hour before you go to sleep, you don't use your phone. You don't use anything technology based. You don't look at any screens. No LED blue screen light bullshit, essentially. And you do that for an hour before bed. You just sit on your ass. You don't look at any screens, so no computers, no iPads, no phones. No, I don't think even a Kindle. Don't use any screens for an hour before bed. And you do that, and you'll find that your sleep quality improves. Because what's going to happen is that hour before bed, you're going to actually occupy that time with something that you should probably be doing. And what you should probably be doing is reading or pursuing something that actually requires you to use your hands and think and focus. Um, like most people, like me, before bed, I just scroll on YouTube. I'd be on my phone or I'd be on my iPad or I'd be on my computer and I'd be doing something stimulating. I'd be scrolling, playing games, blah, 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 and then just shut off and try to go to bed. Um, I never had a problem falling asleep, but it seemed like no matter how long I slept, even if it was 8+ hours, I'd still be tired the next day. I'd still feel groggy. I wouldn't really feel alive. Most things would feel fairly flat. And ever since I've swapped into doing this, things actually feel pretty good. I feel a lot more motivated to do things. What kind of reading before bed has done for me is essentially when I sleep now, one thing I noticed, I've been having vivid ass dreams. I've been having dreams every other night, and they're very textual and they're extremely vibrant, and I start to remember my dreams. Um, and man, is that fun. I always wondered why I don't dream. I barely had any memories of dreaming. I just, knock out, wake up, feel like garbage the next morning, and I just wouldn't understand why. It's because when you use a screen, um, and you're still engaging in like kind of stimulating content, your brain isn't actually shutting off. It's kind of like in a rest mode. It's still trying to egg on for some stimulation. It's still trying to look for dopamine, and you're not feeding it. So you go to bed, and your brain's still active. So you don't actually fall and drift into deep sleep or REM sleep. And when you do that for longer, and you're actually getting that REM sleep, you'll find that what was kind of just dark emptiness, just passing of time, meaninglessly, all of a sudden you start getting dreams. You start waking up in the morning and feeling good. I mean, I wake up at about 6 a.m. in the morning for work, and before I wake up just feeling like complete dog shit. And I just, I gotta wake up, gotta get ready for fucking work. Now when I wake up, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. I actually feel fairly energized in feeling that the night's rest was actually a rest. It wasn't just something to stave away just complete and utter disaster. It was a recharge. And this has unflattened most of my life. So most things that I ought to be doing, and you probably know what you should be doing. You know what you should be doing probably right now, but you're probably procrastinating watching this. But regardless, there are things that you should be doing, but when you try to do it, you just don't wanna. It's just like it's so fucking boring, and it's just so unengaging that you can't do it, and it's because you're not getting good sleep. You're not getting good sleep, so you actually haven't reset your brain properly, and you're not getting the good habits in place at the start of the day to set you up for the rest of the day. So, for example, I wake up 6 a.m. bright and early. I don't touch my fucking phone anymore. I used to like wake up, scroll. I don't do that anymore because I could feel like I can actually resist basic impulses. Like, oh, I need to scroll on this. Like, nope, I actually don't have to. And when you fell in that habit before, um, when I was scrolling, I just see some news or some shit. Like, do I really need to be blasted 6 in the fucking morning with news that doesn't 100% concern me or is kind of negative? Like, I don't want to start off every day feeling negative and bad and groggy and miserable and just, ugh, it's just not worth it. So, by having that good habit, I find that the rest of my days are more productive. They're not always more productive, but fairly so for the past 2 odd weeks. Um, I've started to kind of do things that I couldn't before. And what I mean by couldn't, I couldn't bring myself to. Now I can. It seems that good sleep has reduced pretty much most of the friction, and this makes sense because with garbage sleep that you're constantly stimulating your brain, the unstimulating stuff like cleaning your room, um, basic housekeeping, basic shit that most people are just not doing or not doing very well become more difficult. So you just by having garbage sleep, you literally make every other aspect of your life more difficult. It's that's what it is. You have shit sleep, you're gonna have a shit day, and you're gonna have shit habits, and it's just gonna be just shit. And that's the best way I can really describe it is that good sleep removes all, not all, but reduces the friction on everything. Everything becomes easier. Reading becomes easier. Playing games becomes easier. Whatever. Working becomes easier. It's it's torturous to not have good sleep, and 99% of people have shit sleep. Most people have bags on their eyes. They have just a general malaise to them. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this, but I look around. I don't use headphones or glass or geez, not glasses, but I don't use headphones. I'm not staring at my phone all the time in fucking public. I keep my eyes and ears open. Most people are just letting life kind of pass them by. They're just you look in their eyes and there's just a certain glaze to it. They're just not there, and they're because they're just not sleeping. When you sleep, you actually feel a lot more active. I've felt more active. I haven't been more active. I'm still a lazy shit, but I felt like my brain is more wired. Things don't feel flat anymore. I recently, I went to a store and I bought a fucking clock. Just a little shitty clock that's not a screen, it's analog. And man, the rush of buying it was something I hadn't really experienced before in buying something. When I bought a new computer before I fixed my sleep habits, and the feeling was not as intense as I had bought a clock. I dropped far more money on a computer than a little $20 clock. And the clock felt better because I had fixed my sleep. It was less flat. Things actually matter more. Things pop a lot more when you're not just a fucking zombie coasting through life. Surprise, surprise. And we kind of break that initial mold of like poor sleep, everything becomes easier, like I said. So the little habits build up. All of a sudden, okay, one bad habit I had was I'd be on the shitter for too long. I'd be on the shitter for like 15, 20 minutes, even though I didn't have to, because I'd be on my phone. I'd just sit there. I'd be half a zombie on the toilet, And after fixing the sleep, I don't. I'm like in there out under 5 minutes. And I still have my phone next to me. I just don't feel compelled to scroll. I don't feel compelled to waste my time or just sit there. Like I actually have shit to do. I want to go eat breakfast. Because now when I'm hungry, I actually feel fairly hungry. Before, when I was hungry, I didn't really feel it because I was just coasting. Nothing popped. Things pop now. And when things are actually, hills and valleys, when you're in that valley, you want to get the hell out of there. You want to get the hell out of that valley up onto the hill. You can't do that when you're a zombie. When everything just feels like a flat plain, like you're just in the Midwest or something. It's just plains as far as you can see. The hours drag by, and you don't feel productive. You don't feel good. You just ultimately don't feel good. When you don't feel good, um, it's hard to drag yourself out of it. It is really a tough situation to be in when every day feels like crap. But it doesn't have to be that way. You institute a literal, simple habit. It's not earth shattering. People have read about this forever. This has been known for probably years now. Actually, not probably. It has been known for years that blue lights from your screen destroy your sleep quality. But whenever I had read those, it didn't kind of specify how bad it was, like how significantly worse your sleep is. Like the nights which I used to scroll before bed or I used to watch a screen before bed versus now are, night and day, pun intended. It's 180. I'd sleep for, you know, 8+ hours. I slept for 10. I'd take melatonin before bed. Didn't work. I'd take it, go to bed, wake up, still feel like shit. Because it's not the length in which you're sleeping, it's the quality. People's quality of sleep is poor. It's poor because you're not actually shutting your brain off. Blue light from these screens keeps you awake. It tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime when it's really not. And this is not only compounded by the fact that you're probably scrolling something stimulating. You're watching a YouTube video, you're on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever the fuck, and you're constantly scrolling and your brain can't shut off. I mean, it's like, seriously, it's so bad. It's so bad. And when you swap, you see why. And it doesn't have to be that complicated. You don't have to be a genius to realize it. But social media is designed to stimulate you. It's designed to keep you on it for as long as possible. Pretty much every single social media website is free. It's free for reasons because you are the fucking product. You are meant to stay on these sites for as long as humanly possible. The longer your eyes are glued to your screen, the more money they make because they can run more ads by you. So you shouldn't let them win. Fuck these guys. Why are you gonna let some faceless oligarch billionaire literally occupy your attention and your time? Why are you gonna let this guy literally steal the joy in your life because you can't put the fucking phone down before bed and you can't find anything else in your life to actually occupy that? And so the rest of your life is also miserable because guess what? You have shit sleep. Things suck. You know what you're going to be doing? You're probably going to be scrolling more. You're probably going to be scrolling more because for a lot of people, the majority of people, they derive the majority of their joy from their phones, which is pretty fucked up, but take the phone away from a lot of people and they are completely lost. Like they're completely lost and they're sleep deprived. So it's really, really nasty out there. If you can break this habit, you'll be in a much better spot. You'll be in a way better spot. So I guess just to cap it all off, I'm gonna stop yapping here, but essentially, what you do, it's a very simple game plan. Starting tonight, starting today, what you do is you take your bedtime that you usually should be falling asleep at, let's say 10 o'clock. You call it 9 o'clock. You set your alarm on your phone or whatever you have to do. You charge it, and you know For me, it's next to my nightstand. You put it wherever, and you flip the phone upside down. You flip the phone upside down, turn off notifications, so it's not buzzing, and you don't feel really compelled to do it. To flip the phone over. Just don't flip the fucking phone over. Don't look at the screen. Don't look at any screens, and have something else to occupy the time. Ideally, a book. This is probably the ideal scenario. You fill that time with the book. You read for an hour. You'll probably get really sleepy. You'll be really bored, and this is a good thing. If you're bored, you're doing it right. You should be bored as hell. You should be hoping that, man, I really want to go to bed. Because before, you probably didn't want to go to bed. You let the time fly past you. Now, if you got no screens and you've kind of restricted your stimulation, you'll feel the minutes drag by. And you want this. You want to feel bored and tired before you go to bed. Surprise, surprise. You do this every night. It's not going to fix everything immediately. But even on the first night for me, the quality of sleep improved dramatically, where the next morning I felt really good. I actually felt pretty jubilant and really on top of it. I did well at work that day, put it that way. And you do this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you'll catch up on this thing called sleep debt. Pretty much most people have it. Everyone has sleep debt because they're sleeping like dog shit. And even though they're getting 8 hours, it's not quality 8 hours. It's more like 4 hours because the other hours are spent in low quality sleep. But you'll catch up on sleep debt. You will actually catch up. Your brain tracks how many hours you should be having, and you will adjust accordingly. So if you can get to a weekend where you don't have an obligation in the morning, you'll probably be sleeping in deeper and longer than you ought to. And this is normal, and this is a good thing. You keep this up, you'll probably get to around 8 hours. I'm at 8 hours now, where I'm at bed at 10. Lights out fairly quickly. I'm up at 6, and I'm usually beating my alarm clock. I usually wake up before my alarm clock now, which is pretty funny. And I can disable it, so I don't have to start off my day with the fucking bleeping, which sucks. So that's what I would do. If you're stuck and you don't know what to do, and you want to fix something, you can flip the fix everything switch, and it's called sleep. And you just do that by don't look at your screens an hour before bed and read, or do something else besides read that requires you to think and use your hands. So that's my message. Hope it helps.